Here to give us all the skinny on Jimmy and Shivi's Farmhouse breakfast on ITV. Please welcome, Jimmy Doherty!
Thank you very much.
Is that what happens when you walk in the living room? Jimmy
door,
Doherty!
Every door I open, it's always the same.
It's nice, isn't it? Well, with 4 daughters, I imagine
Yes.
there is a bit of an applause.
It's more of a daddy, can you fix this?
Is it now?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
So-
I've got 2 daughters, but I am one of 4. And I would say my 2 girls, I don't know if this is something I've done wrong, they definitely like him more.
I don't know. The whole thing's exhausting, to be honest. And it's a pleasure and it's a nightmare all in the same thing because they're a delight. Girls are a delight, but they think you are Superman and you can fix everything.
Yeah.
And I sort of make it up as well.
I mean, you got it right. That's literally the gig,
A lot of lie telling.
Yeah, and with the fixing, are we talking about like, toys, gadgets, or emotional issues? You haven't maybe got to that point yet.
It could be a pet you got to fix.
Okay.
It's got to be
She's a
broken.
vet.
Yeah, it's broken furniture. Anything.
Okay. Are they involved in the show?
Well, do you know what? They do make an appearance, and they're involved with the farm. I mean, so we have a working farm, so we have everything you imagine on a farm with the cattle and the pigs, and we do lots of turkeys. But also we have a wildlife park, so we've got an extra 70 acres of wildlife park. So we have Europe's largest polar bear reserve. We've got a brown bear that we rescued. We've got monkeys, you name it.
A capybara.
A capybara, and so the kids absolutely love it. So at weekends they're down there working. They
Good for them.
Can't keep them out of it.
Earning their keep.
Just about.
Okay, just about. It's 100 acres. There's an anteater. I was on your Instagram earlier on. I think it's an anteater.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a very odd-looking animal.
It looks like a committee's put it together.
Yeah,
and it's
a drunk committee.
Absolutely, they've had a few drinks. But it's like Basil the anteater. He's wonderful. He's got tiny little ears, really long snout, and a big bushy tail. And he lives his life going through the Pantanal, South America, and feeding on termites, big claws, gripping. Perfectly adapted to what he does, but just fascinating to watch. So in the show's split up between there's food, there's guests, there's drinks, but also loads of stories about the animals. So all the animals on the farm and the wildlife park make an appearance. And so one morning we create him the perfect breakfast and build a little feeder for him. And it's a way of explaining how he feeds and what he does in the wild.
Yeah. So it's kind of Sunday brunch meets country file.
Yeah.
Yeah?
With a bit of chaos.
Yeah.
The way I explain it, it's a real wholesome piece of television. And it's a really good way of kickstarting your Sunday. So you wake up on Sunday morning, get your coffee, get your cup of tea, and then you'll see us doing all sorts of stuff. So there's country crafts, there's hobbies. Shivi goes off around the different counties of East Anglia. So you've got Essex and Suffolk. Meets amazing producers, what's in season. And then we cook some great dishes, great cocktails, and ideas of like, what to do that weekend, what to do on a Sunday. Are you going to build a bird feeder with the kids? Or what's the perfect Sunday roast? I'm going to do a barbecue or a really good cocktail to kick off your Sunday lunch. So there's something for everyone.
Yeah, but also I think it's the perfect TV in that it's real.
Yeah.
I hosted Robot Wars, okay? No, I'm not. And I mean, it's a very different beast.
It's exactly the same. What are you talking about?
But I mean, that world exists. Those things are happening. It's almost like the cameras have come in and they just happen to be observing what you would already be doing. So it's stripped away the manufacturing, the pretense, all of the mechanics that we've become quite attuned to on telly.
The sort of the veneer, the polish that you see. So I think you're absolutely right, and it's a delight. And I love shows like this. The fact that you don't have to live in the countryside, but you get that feeling of plugging your hands into nature.
Yeah.
And we do. I think it was you and Thomas. The gold medalist who's now commentating on the Olympics at the moment. He's one of the guests, and we're building terrariums, and he's talking about his latest book and his ADHD, and then I'm talking to him, and he's absorbed with making this beautiful little plant paradise, and he's like, this is mindfulness, this is what I love. And so the sort of medium of talking to people over food and when they're doing an activity, it sort of engages them in a different way. So we see lots of chat shows, and you've done lots and lots where you sit on a couch and you chat to someone. This is totally different, and it's a lovely sort of medium to really get behind people's thoughts and what they're up to.
Well, it's the intimacy, isn't it? It's like the distraction of them engaging their brain in an activity, as you say, whether that's building a terrarium or feeding an anteater or something. They're kind of drop the mask and they let go of the publicity lines and the notes they're supposed to hit, and they start talking to you human to human.
That's it, completely. And so you get really good chats. We've got some great guests, amazing food.
Some unlikely guests.
Yes.
I love it because it's kind of quite showbiz, and then they're literally in their wellies mucking around.
Yeah, completely.
And you get your money's worth.
You do get your money's worth out of them.
No, you do.
No, we've got some great guests. Dick and Dom.
Adore.
Yes, obviously.
My weekend buddies. I mean, I'm usually on weekend breakfast.
Yes.
You know,
I mean,
so they are.
Dick and Dom are a delight. And I've known them for many, many years. And I remember them coming to one of our music festivals that we put on. But it's, you know, they are up for anything. Yeah. And, you know, and of course, you know, I think Dom is a vegan.
I mean, I've been caught out before.
Yeah.
I need them in the same room to decipher.
That's why Dom's a vegan, I think, or vegetarian. So that's great.
Quite a hardcore vegan too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that's great. So we have to get the dishes for him, so we explore that. And so for vegans out there and veggies out there, there's some great dishes as well. So it's lovely. But we had a couple of little games that we played, and I got the kids involved. And I think Dick is so competitive, and Shivi is really competitive. Okay. And it was like, oh my Lord, talk about robot wars. I thought it was going to kick off. Yeah. And they're just chucking balls into cans. I was like, calm down, you lot.
They actually did do the celeb version of Robot Wars. Did they? And they are like, there's a wild steeliness behind the eyes that like feels at odds in a farm. You're like,
but it's a beautiful chaos, and I think it's lovely. And there's tranquility in it, and there's something for everyone.
Great. Jenny Ryan, talk to me. She is episode 7, because it's 7 eps of 11. Yes. Nice run. Yes. Lovely run. Jenny Ryan of The Chase.
The Vixen.
Yeah. Like, terrifying.
Well, I've interviewed a lot of people in my time, and from Danny DeVito, lots of David Attenborough. The Vixen scared me.
Did she?
She did.
Like in a good way?
No, I'm not. Did you mouth the word dominatrix?
Yes. My eyes screamed it.
No, she has.
Is that the vibe you got off
She has a real power, and I think it's because of The Chase.
What's a dominatrix?
I don't know. You said it. But she has a real energy, and it's because of The Chase, and she's one of the chasers, and we're chatting away, and she's got an amazing show coming up. She's a brilliant singer. She's a fantastic show coming up. But we did a little general knowledge quiz, and I felt like I was sitting in a chair and a big spotlight was on me, and I started shaking, and it's terrifying. But she's a delight.
And she absolutely nailed you.
She absolutely. I lost against Shivi, and you know, there's moments you think, I know this, I know the answer. I was like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, me, no.
Terrible.
I refuse to do quiz because it exposes. Like, you think you have a decent grasp on
How many times have you asked to do the mastermind?
I'm never doing it. No.
The fear.
The fear, and also it's just the panic of people looking at you and the pressure. I did the wheel, Jimmy, and I've never lived it down. Actually, somebody in Muswell Hill stopped me the other day laughing at me and said that my son likes me because I made such a fool of myself on the wheel. There's the round where you can like banker. I can't remember the name, but like it's a banker round where the wheel spins. And every contestant, adds another. So it's multiple answers to the question. I'm doing really well at this. Anyway, the question was Mr. Men books.
Right.
And the contestant, I'm a mother of 2. She thought, you know what, Angela Scanlon, I'm gonna start with her. Yeah. So I'm sitting there ready to take off, and the clock started. We started spinning, and Michael said, "Mr. Men books," and I went with such confidence and conviction, "Mr. Tumble!" Bang! Mr. Tumble. It turns out it was a BBC character, not Mr. Man.
Yeah.
And so we got no money for it. Yeah.
You see, I'm glad you said all this, because actually I've been proven right then.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't be able for the Vixen now. Would she survive in the wild, do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She could be dropped anywhere, the Vixen, and she would survive.
Bear Grylls style.
Bear Grylls, yeah. I think she would just terrify her food.
Would she eat her own young?
Possibly.
Let's talk about the Olympics. I mean, I was talking earlier on about my step count, okay, and people, there's there's a lot of activity. It makes you feel like a vegetable watching these athletes mooch around. Have you been tuning in? Is there a TV in the farm? No, there's not. He's one of those.
No. There's, my wife loves the Olympics and the gymnastics and the tennis. My daughter Cora and Molly absolutely love it as well, so they watch a lot of it. I myself not massively into it. Okay. I like the kayaking. Thought that was quite good. Okay. I like the fencing.
Yeah.
I like the jumping, the horse riding side of it. I think they should mix the sword fighting and the horses together. That would be good.
Like death polo.
Yeah, that'd be something to watch. But yeah, and actually when I was talking to you and Thomas, and we started talking about the Olympics, it's like me with football. I'm not a massive football fan, so it sort of veers off slightly. But it's a great spectacle to watch.
It is, isn't it? The gymnastics, my daughter has also got very into it.
Yeah.
And she now finishes, she dismounts the monkey bars and finishes like this.
I think we should do that with everything. I think if you parked your car well, you should do that and do like a nice stand and put your hands in the air.
Yeah.
Just as a bit of acknowledgement.
I like that a lot. One of the things I read, which slightly, maybe it shouldn't surprise me, is like football. You said you didn't like football there.
I don't mind football.
But you like Ipswich. Is that not football?
Ipswich Town. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not like I don't like football. I'm not.
Jimmy hates football,
I'm not
lads.
obsessed with football.
Turn on him at the next
No,
game.
we used to make a sausage for Ipswich Town.
I know.
Ipswich Super Blue.
Stilton and garlic.
Yes, Stilton and garlic. It was voted amongst the best 10 sausages in the world by The Guardian once.
I bet it was.
Yeah, but so we do. I know. I don't dislike football. Yeah. I'm not fanatical, and I think it's because
you're an opportunist. Is what it sounds like to me.
My brother was a fanatic, and he used to make me stand in the goal and just fire balls at me. So that, and it's just like,
that'll do it. In fairness. What is next apart from keeping 4 daughters going and a farm?
There's endless stuff at the moment, and there's a lot of work on the farm because we have the wildlife park. We're involved with lots of big conservation projects, and we rescued a polar bear last year, and we rescued a brown bear. We now have Europe's largest polar bear reserve. We have 4 female polar bears, and it's the largest group of female polar bears anywhere in the world. And we're working on getting Diego, who's our beautiful brown bear, a girlfriend. And so there's.
It's not on Tinder. That doesn't happen there. How do you? Is there an app for wild animals?
I just wish there were. But there is sort of a love match because all the animals that you see are in breeding programs. They're all matched with different people to make sure that we're not different other animals. Just so the genetics are all right. So there is a bit of a Tinder thing going on with, captive breeding.
Wow. Yeah. Now, slight gear change, but I've just moved house and we've got a mulberry tree.
Oh, a delight and a nightmare.
Honestly. So I've got a friend who's an absolute plant nut and he's like, oh, mulberries, you'll never find them because they don't last for very long. No. So he's like, pick them every day, put them in the freezer. Is that correct?
You can do that, or you can make a coulis out of them, or you do what my daughter does, and she's basically like a crow, and she just wanders around.
My favourite kind of girl.
And eating these, and I said, have you eaten the mulberries? No. And she's got it all around her face, and it's on her fingers, and it's on her feet. And which is it's a lovely picture. You imagine sort of beautiful countryside, a little blonde-haired girl with all mulberry, and then she walks inside, and you've got all the soft furnishings, and you see my wife just turn white.
Yeah.
Just think handprints. Never going to come off.
They don't match. You need I went to a water park on...
It's not like block printing. You can't make it nice and even.
But also you've got to put one of those little, almost a water trough with disinfectant.
Just to blast them down. I've got a dog shower in our house.
Okay, so do the kids use it?
We put the kids in the dog shower. And we wash them down. Works a treat.
Oh my God, you are literally living the dream life.
But a mulberry tree in your garden is a delight, though. Lovely. And I think that the whole thing is that, you don't have to have a farm. You don't have to have lots of land or a big garden. You can grow anything. Yeah. In your window box. Yeah, anything from something you can eat, like tumbling tomatoes or just a load of little wildflowers. Yeah. It all makes a big difference.
Well, we did grow in a pot, which is probably not the ideal home for them, some carrots. So they're slightly dwarfed carrots, but we had them with hummus, It wasn't like carrots that you serve on a Sunday roast because you'd be looking for them on the plate, those kind of carrots.
But what a great appreciation
of food.
Beautiful.
We got the girls to pick them. They were all lucky they couldn't prep them.
I remember as a little kid having some chickens, and little tiny bantams, and they laid their first egg.
What?
Little bantams, are small
Little chickens.
Yeah, little chickens.
How much could you have them in London with foxes?
No, the foxes eat chickens. You got to make sure the fox doesn't get in with the chickens.
Okay.
So you put them in a run or
in a pen.
Bigger pen.
Okay.
But I remember the chickens laid their first little egg. It was one egg, and I was so excited. And there was 4 of us in our family, and we had egg on toast, 1 egg between 4. But it's the
best egg you ever had in your
it's the
life.
appreciation, and it's simple things like growing herbs, and then putting them in a pasta dish for the kids, and the kids cutting it and going, we grew these herbs, and it gets them eating veggies as well.
Well, also it's the connection to that, isn't it? They love pesto pasta, but do they realise that basil grew on the window?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And this is what this show's about. It's getting everyone involved.
Yeah.
And living in the countryside or not, the countryside belongs to everyone. And I think everyone will get something from this show.
Yeah. You belong to every. He's a man of the people. Jimmy Doherty, everybody. Jimmy and Shivi's Farmhouse Breakfast, Sunday, 8:25 a.m. on ITV. Like I said before, the freshest looking farmer I've seen in a long time.
Thank you very much.
Virgin Radio.